Sergeant Decker, we have come a long way to find you. How about a little history? Partway through the Civil War, some of the South began hoarding gold.
The rumors about the gold is true.
Some years later, I was sent on a mission to retrieve it with your father, and then he disappeared.
I don't even know if my father's alive or dead. We weren't exactly on the best of terms.
Your daddy was spotted in a border town near Mexico. He's putting together a team to go after my gold.
So I'm guessing you're Mary.
Mary's stagecoach, Mary's rules. You find your daddy, and you'll get your wife back.
No! Hey, I'm gonna shoot your own son. Rumor has it you're planning a job. I need in.
You ever hear Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
You talking about them white boy bank robbers?
Ladies and gentlemen, raise your hands slow.
Butch and Sundance had two Negroes working with them, including a big white fella. White and black, in cahoots with each other.
Whatever you two geniuses are scheming up, count me in.
All right, this is a holdup. G, is that you, boy? Ain't he got a sense of humor, though?
Brigade!
Like it or not, we're all Americans now.
Eight what? Toes. That's all you gonna have left.
Thank you. I see you've got your hat on, ready for the certificate. Okay, so wait. So this is like I've been doing this podcast for ages, like years and years and years, and it's great to finally have you guys on this thing. I wanted to say that right off the start. I used to chase after the patriarch guy, and that just never seemed to. That I knew it was going to be tough if it happened. It didn't. I felt regret, but this makes up for it.
Good. And
very pleased to meet you both. Yeah, and I also wanted to say to you, Mario, that years ago I worked at Sony Music. I worked there for a long time in that Sony building on Madison Avenue. Have you ever been in there?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Maybe. Have you ever been in there with your father?
It's very possible.
No, you were. Because I saw you in there in the cafeteria, in the dining room area a couple of times, and I was too chicken to walk over and say anything to you guys. But
well, here we are now. Here we are.
All right. But that was a treat to see. I think I actually did talk to your dad in the elevator one time, if memory serves correct. At least that's the way I'm going to choose to. So that's my story in the back. The other thing I wanted to say, and then we're going to get into Outlaw Posse, is that John Carroll Lynch, he's been on this twice, and William Mapother's been on this before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was like a great opportunity, you know. Those are both amazing people and great actors. And
very sharp guys. And that's part of what I wanted with Outlaw Posse was I wanted to have actors in the movie who you felt were credible, had heft, had gravitas, and you knew they were intelligent. You knew they were sharp. You knew they knew way more than just the role they were playing. And then when I wanted to get someone to play my son, I said, well, who's been rehearsing that for a few years and knows how to ride a horse? And that's this guy right here.
That it was great stunt casting. So wait, how many times did Mandela? How many times did you make your dad ask you? How many times did you refuse until you finally relented?
Funny you word it that way. I love working with this guy.
Yeah.
No, I think it's awesome. Not everyone gets the pleasure of working with their family, and I think working in this business is a blessing enough. But at the times we're doing it with AI, post COVID, you got to be thankful for that. Being able to do it with your dad, that's another one. And then what we get to say with it, I think, is really special. You know, it is an entertaining film. You know, Outlaw Posse makes people laugh, makes people, you know, think, makes people, you know, you go through a lot of emotions. We got a great cast: Whoopi, Cedric the Entertainer, DC Young Fly. But in addition to all those great things, there's also some messages in there, and I think a lot of the topics we touch on, although the setting is the Old West, still very relevant today. You know, the right to vote, or even with the chief saying, close up the mountain after you take the gold out because gold lust is bad for Mother Earth. I don't remember the exact quote, but basically global warming, like conversations we still have going on to this day. So I think with that in mind, working with Pops this time around was a lot of fun.
I like the tradition. I like the tradition that it's for a film lover, especially, you know, things that are kind of a little bit outside of the Hollywood orbit. It's nice to see what your family has been doing now. You kind of created a dynasty now. I think 3 generations means a dynasty. What do you think, Mario?
Let's hope it's for good. You know,
Yeah.
we the letter 3, the 3 loves in life. You know, love what you do, love and enjoy the folks you get to do it with, and love what you say with your work. And that's an important triumphant as well. So I think, you know, someone was talking about, you know, how Chief and the Outlaws, you know, are in a way there's almost a setting the history straight, you know, sort of component, a Robin Hood component, if you will. That slavery was legal, denying women the vote was legal, taking Native American land was legal, Jim Crow was legal. And so when the laws were unjust, and sometimes the just have to be outlaws. And I think to some degree, I've grown up in a family of cinematic outlaws, and that and I've been doing my work not with a gun, but with a camera, and saying, look, if cowboys, the name cowboys, they call black men boys as sort of a derogatory term, and say, take care of get the crappy job. So take care of them horses, boy, take care of them cowboys. And so the cowboys became from that. Now, once Hollywood started to glorify cowboys, they cast them as just white guys. In fact, even the Native Americans were often played as white guys. And in those early Westerns, you saw, if you were a person of color, you were Indian, Native American, you were dead. You're Mexican, you're the oily bandit that doesn't need no stinking badges. If you're Asian, you're the deferential houseboy. And if you're black, you're sort of shuffling. And if you're female, you're pale and needed rescuing. But the real truth of the Wild Wild West was it was way more diverse.
We didn't know
wild.
That. Funny, that wasn't.
Black. You had Stagecoach Mary, before women could vote, had her own stagecoach line going up into Montana and had her deal with the U.S. Postal Service. Second person to have a deal with the U.S. Postal Service. And so Whoopi Goldberg plays her. So, and at the end of the movie, at the end of Outlaw Posse, we show the real people.
Yeah.
So it's not revisionist history. It's actually more accurate in its depiction. You know, we had Mexicans here because the border moved past them. They didn't come here. We moved over there.
We went there. Yeah.
So part of the fun of this is showing the real West more. It's still a Western. It's not a documentary, but showing the crazy diversity of it, and it winds up being the strength of this wild posse, in that, you know, they're doing things, as the sheriff's Joseph Culp, who's the son of Robert Culp from Ice.
Oh, I did not know. I didn't get that. Okay.
Look at him closely, you're gonna. He was just like Robert Culp. He says, you know, and white, robbing a bank and working in cahoots with each other. Who could have seen that coming? And so that diversity is a strength. And so the fun of it is that I'm sort of like Chief in that way, with a camera saying, let's put this history out there. Let's create it with enough love in this gumbo that all of Americans can come. And hopefully if we build it, they'll come, have a beer, bring expectations down low, and enjoy a good old kick-ass Western.
Yeah, the film absolutely works on multiple levels. And it sounds as though you did some work in researching there, for sure. But I love that expression, cinematic gumbo. That definitely applies to Outlaw Posse. And I appreciated also when you said, like, this is it's kind of, I guess you don't have to know all the context of what you're just describing to enjoy the film, which is, I guess, what you're saying. But it's really it just sort of seems more than ever important that people kind of do, right about now, when a lot of history is being erased, in or being attempted to be erased. I'm an optimist. I feel like more of this country is forward marching than backward, but I guess I'm just, we'll hope for the best that that's the case, But there's an incredible quote, and I got to know if you wrote this, because you wrote the screenplay. When the laws are unjust, the just are outlaws. And I looked it up because I said that is just really brilliant. And did you write that quote? Did you write that part, that line?
I don't remember. Things come to me, and I've got to say, sometimes things come to me, and I don't know what the source is, and they come at
well,
so I can't even cite it. But I don't remember seeing it anywhere.
The only thing I saw, because I looked it up, I could not doubt that I mean, clearly you've done a lot of homework. Clearly, this is a result of a lot of passion. It's quite obvious. But I looked up, and Thomas Jefferson said, if a law is unjust, then a man is not only right to disobey, he is obligated to do so.
Well, let me give you another one. Not
Please.
only did Jefferson say that, which I didn't know that.
You may not have said that aloud to the Hemings family, but go ahead.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there would be reasons for that. Sally would go, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, wait a sec. Something's.
But it was Abraham Lincoln who said a version of this, which I will screw up, that with public opinion on your side, you can achieve anything. Without public opinion on your side, you can't achieve much. He who affects public opinion has more weight than he who makes the laws.
Mm-hmm.
We are in the business of helping to, create a public zeitgeist, if you will, culture can be healing, or it can be, just like religion, it can be something that unites, or it can be something that divides. And so the way we grew up in our family, where we got white, black, brown, we got a gay aunt, got a Trumper aunt. We have to love with big arms. You got to love like this. And so I think that is an advantage as a filmmaker, because we know that already, even in terms of our family, good allies come in all colors. And so I think you feel that when you watch a movie like Outlaw Posse and you see a John Carroll Lynch, or the respect that even my character affords a Neil McDonough early on in the movie. It does not say, I'm going to tar you with the same brush as this other guy who's clearly way out of line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you have respect for others and appreciation, and you see the beauty in others. And that's part of the fun of making this cinematic gumbo with love.
So Mandela, tell me a little bit more about your experience on the set. Had you had experience on horses, and had you experience around, I don't know, this was, I wonder how new this is. You're on a sci-fi show right now. I'm right, where you play a vampire. You play a vampire, right?
Play a vampire.
So you're kind of used to stretching. So you're, I can see he's kidding.
It was a lot of fun. Once before, I did get the pleasure of working with Pops here. With Roots, the retelling of Roots, night 2 of that. I played Noah. So originally, in the original, was played by Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. But it was a great time. I had a horse then, loved it. It's down in Louisiana, so similar to this, you really got to immerse into the setting and the wardrobe, and it was a period piece, so very, very much so teleport you to a different realm.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Outlaw Posse was kind of a similar thing where you're in beautiful Montana with amazing stretching landscapes, and you're riding these horses at sunset going like 35. I don't know how fast we're going, hauling ass though. And it gets dark and there's
Yeah,
no, just the stars. So
I know.
it's really a special experience, and being out there with Pops, who was a lot of fun, and also being able to share scenes with him and play father and son, because
Yeah.
in Roots, directly, he was behind the camera. So this
Not
was
only that,
special.
but I mean, you guys, I mean, here you are, you obviously have a, if I may be so bold, it appears you have a pretty healthy relationship. And yet in the film, it's not all so rosy. You're estranged essentially. And so a lot of this is seeing how the love story that's actually, because every good Western has to have the love story. And it actually is between a father and a son, and how you guys learn forgiveness and learn more
We sort
about
of, yeah, we sort of thought about that Boy Named Sue song by Johnny Cash.
it.
You know,
Boy Named
what's-
Sue. Yeah.
yeah. And the Mark Twain quote where he says, "All my life, my father was an idiot, and at 21, I realized, he was a genius," and that you sort of come and see it differently.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
so happy to discover that I'm a genius. Hasn't happened yet.
Well, yeah,
But I think one of the things that you said earlier, Mandela, was that, even though our arc as father and son is not exactly what you'll see in the movie, there are things that we've had that have been challenging, so we can apply that energy. You can apply it. And there's love there that's not faked because it's real. And so and the guy can really ride a horse. Let me just say, he can ride and do his own stunts. And in that scene, the bank robbery scene, I don't want to blow it for anyone.
Don't give it away. They're gonna watch it.
Okay, but it's all one shot. There's no cuts and there's no tricks. And he comes out to rescue Dad. He's got to get there with his horse. And not only does he have to like me, but his horse has to like me. And
right.
a whole series of things have to go right, and they did. So it means going in with people that know what they're doing. And that was a lot of fun. There were some really good actors on this, and John, Whoopi knows, Mandela knows, Cedric knows. So that they're in they're bigger than their role, and then you can give them those great cinematic intros, those great Leone close-ups. You come in on,
yeah, totally. There's nods to Leone for sure, of course. I mean, and to Ford and all the opposite ends of the Western spectrum, but it's all about storytelling, right, and nuance. It's well done. It's called
really watch with a good eye. I mean, that's a pleasure to have someone. Sometimes people come in and they don't really watch something, and you clearly do. So, and you wear the right shirt, which we appreciate.
Well, I told you I'm a little north of the city. It's like part of the uniform here. We have to plaid. It's it's required. Well, the name of the film is called Outlaw Posse. It's actually opens in theaters, which is lovely to still be able to say that in 2024 on March 1st, which is coming right up. And I have to assume you're going to have, is it going to be at a Lemley, or where is it playing? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're not. No, it's going to play. I imagine it will play there, but it's also going to. It's not just an art house film; it's a movie.
Yes.
So it's in. We'll find out. I'll know soon, but it's going to play in movie theaters. So it's in movie, and hopefully word of mouth people catch it and get to it.
That's the idea. That's what we're going to try to do here right from the Hudson Valley here in New York, where there's a lot of film lovers, and there are it's quite a film community up here. Actually, I wasn't so sure when I made the move a few years ago, but it's pretty creative up here, and I really appreciate the time, and I feel like I always regret it because I've had some great filmmakers and folks, from the film industry on here over the many years. And I always regretted missing Melvin. And it's a great loss, but I feel somehow at peace now with the having both of you guys on. It's been, I just mean to say it's been a lot of fun and a great pleasure. And I wish you really a lot of success with Outlaw Posse.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Thank you.
I hope we can do it.
Also
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that? I missed that.
Yeah.
Well, you're cutting out. I have to hear your last comment.
It's been great talking with you.
Oh, that's what I wanted to hear. That's it. I appreciate it.
What Mandela said was, "We miss him too."
Yeah.
But it has been talking about him, and in that memory of that, you keep that legacy alive. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, at the end of Outlaw Posse, it says, dedicated to the badass.
That's right. The original badass himself. Yeah. And yeah. Well, I could keep going, but I want to respect your time, and I really, again, appreciate. Now I got to reach out to John Carroll Lynch and see if he'll come back.
Oh yeah, he will definitely. He was doing interviews. He's really sharp. You should
okay.
talk to him.
I will. I actually think I even have his email address. So thank you guys.
Okay, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you soon.
Appreciate it.
Take
Have
care.
a great day.
You too. Thank you.